Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jack Krause, and welcome back to another episode of Inside Lines on a Thursday afternoon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for today's episode. NASCAR has just released massive news on the investigation from Sunday night's incident after a noose was found in Bubba Wallace's garage stall. After backlash came out on social media when NASCAR and the FBI confirmed that it was not a hate crime, NASCAR released an image of the noose found in Bubba Wallace's garage. And let's just say we owe NASCAR an apology. All of us. Many people, including myself, have said that NASCAR jumped the gun. But after I show you the photo, to be honest, I don't think you can blame NASCAR for announcing it as quickly as they did. So this photo was taking place, I believe, Monday morning by NASCAR security. NASCAR has released the photos just moments ago, and this is what the noose looks like. And yeah, look, I'm no expert on nooses, and Steve Phelps also said he's no expert on nooses, but I mean, that is I'm pretty confident that is I'm quoting Bubba Wallace here, straight up noose. And I, for one, like to owe NASCAR an apology because I said in my last video, if you guys haven't seen that already, that NASCAR jumped the gun on this one. I felt like they maybe could have waited, but to be honest, if I was in NASCAR's position and I saw that noose, or let's call it that rope, fashioned like the way it was in that garage stall, I also would have announced it right away, because to me that looks like a straight up noose. And with everything that went on that weekend with NASCAR just recently banning the Confederate flags, people protesting in front of Talladega, a crop duster flying across the racetrack with a Confederate flag next to a defund NASCAR. I mean, and that was directed because of Bubba Wallace pushing NASCAR to ban the Confederate flags. I mean, it's like you put two and two together, and it made sense in a horrible way. It made sense that, or I should say, it wouldn't be surprising to see something like that occur to Bubba Wallace. So I do not blame NASCAR for taking the actions that they did because of the photo we've seen. If it was, I've seen pictures float around of this photo in a truck garage at Talladega. If that was what the noose was, then I could see why people say NASCAR jumped the gun. But to be honest, that photo that was released by NASCAR, I mean, that is pretty damn convincing that that's a straight up noose. I will, however, say this to NASCAR. If they were going to release the images this early, I don't think it would have been a good idea to let Bubba Wallace go on shows like Don Lemon, go on shows like First Take, or The Daily Show without some receipts, because clearly he got tons of backlash. Even though now that we know NASCAR was in the right for doing what they did, none of us knew exactly what even the noose looked like, so of course people are going to attack Bubba. So I will have to say that this was bad on NASCAR to allow Bubba to go out there basically without any proof or anything like that to defend his statements that this was a straight up noose without any proof. Now we also should point out that NASCAR aired a teleconference by Steve Phelps revealing some more information on what took place throughout the entire investigation. So NASCAR President Steve Phelps, he also said, NASCAR said that out of its 1,684 garage stalls across the racetracks that NASCAR races on, only 11 had a rope with a knot at the end. However, only one of them, that being Bubba Wallace's garage stall, had a rope tied in the shape of a noose. And for anyone out there that says, oh well, I've seen, at Talladega, other tracks have ropes tied like knots at the end of it. This is a photo. I'm not really sure who the original of the original Twitter guy that posted this, but here's 4 photographs of cars in garages at Fall in Talladega. All of them have ropes, but none of them have an N at the end. It's just chopped off. None of them have a knot at the end. Only Bubba was the only one that had a noose in his garage stall. Now, the one question is that many people want to know now is who did it? Who tied that noose? Well, you have to understand that with this being taking place in October of 2019, NASCAR more than likely went back through footage to October 2019 to see if they could determine who tied up that noose. And unfortunately, NASCAR did say, and Steve Phelps did say in the teleconference, that they could not determine who first tied the noose. Another thing that Steve Phelps did say was that in hindsight, he wished he could have used the word alleged or allegedly instead of fact out this is a racist act, this is racism, and anything of that nature. But again, with everything that was going on that weekend, and surrounding Bubba Wallace. So then you had a Noose show up in Bubba Wallace's garage stall. It's like you put two and two together. It's like, you're kind of not surprised that NASCAR went with that move. But and I mean, we all make mistakes. Steve Phelps, he made a mistake, but it's like Monday morning quarterback. It's like you look back, oh, I could have done this or could have done that. But at the time, when emotions are high, just in the moment, NASCAR and Steve Phelps felt like they needed to do something right away, and that's what they did. And I don't blame him for that. I'd rather have NASCAR be embarrassed for a couple days or for a week rather NASCAR have just been drugged through the dirt by maybe hiding this under the rug or not reporting about it. Media finds out about it, and then it just turns into this whole mess of how NASCAR, they're trying to push racism aside or push important racial issues aside. So I'm glad NASCAR took the steps that they did, knowing now the information about the news. So that, yeah, we owe NASCAR a huge apology. But still, I'm very curious, and I know we're never going to get this answer, is why would someone tie a rope like that? That's my question. Don't get me wrong. In garage stalls, yeah, you use ropes to pull garage stalls down to get better grip, to make it more easier to pull things down. Yeah, you can tie it to a little rope, but I mean, come on. Seriously? Who ties a rope like that? Who does that? Who? No one. And for people out there that's saying, oh, it does not look like a noose, guys, if you are saying that is not a noose, you're either lying to yourself, you're straight up delusional, or I think you have a mental disability. Like, I think you have something wrong with your brain. That is a straight up noose. There's no doubt about that. And you cannot say anything that's going to change that, all right? This is not an opinion. This is a fact. This is a noose, straight up a noose. I even asked my mom, who is black, I even asked her, hey, is this a noose to you? It didn't even take her 2 seconds. She's like, oh, yeah, that's a straight up noose. So yeah, I'm very curious to hear some of your guys' thoughts on this situation. I will say I'm also curious to the people on how they're going to try and spin this in their way, because there are so many people that are so ignorant, so single-minded, that don't understand the full grasp of the situation, and are still going to try and find a way to sort of spin this so that it turns into their favor, or it helps their opinion, even though it's wrong. But as Kyle Busch said, I think a few years ago, you can't change stupid, it's forever. But that is it for me for this episode of Inside the Lines. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for today's episode. Again, leave your thoughts on this story in the comment section down below. And thank you guys again for all the support you give me through over the years on YouTube. And as of today, again, thank you for the support you give me on Twitter and Instagram with my birthday going on today. Turn 18. Yes, I'm an adult now. Oh boy, I've heard many people say being an adult sucks, so can't wait for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, more content, turn on the notifications on, and share it across all platforms. And until next time, my name is Jet Cross from MDK, and I'll see you guys next time.